So this pecan cornbread cake, which is really sort of a hybrid between cornbread and cake, we're going to be adding flour, but we're also going to be adding pecans that we're turning into sort of a coarse flour. Now we're going to be using a cup of toasted pecans, and all I did was take a cup of raw pecans, put them on a baking tray, put them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 7 minutes. It's really somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And the way that I like to tell when the nuts or the pecans, whatever sort of nut you're using, is toasted is by the smell. You'll start to get that toasted nut smell off of them. You can also look for color changes. Are they getting a little bit darker brown? But really it's that smell that I like to look for. And so now we need to break down those pecans, that 1 cup of toasted pecans, in a food processor to create sort of a coarse flour. So I'm going to start off by just pulsing these to first break them down a bit. And now I'm going to go at high speed for 15 to 30 seconds and we'll see how they're looking. And just by looks there, I can see that there's some bigger chunks, so I want to keep going a little bit. You can see that's very, very coarse, but it's sort of that uniform consistency. So now we're going to get this out of here and we're going to start building the batter for this pecan cornbread cake. So in my bowl here, I have 3/4 of a cup of unsalted butter that has been softened. So it's been sitting out at room temperature for a while. Now we're going to be adding our sugar to this in just a minute, but at this point you should be preheating your oven to 325 degrees. Now to this butter, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of cane sugar. Now cane sugar is a little bit less processed than regular table sugar. That granulated sugar has a little bit more of a, I don't know, a slightly tawny color, so it's not bright white. We're going to add this here and then we're going to mix it. We're going to go slow and get this mixed well. Now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients and mix this up well. First up, a cup of yellow cornmeal. Then that pecan flour, that coarse pecan flour that we made. Remember, it was from a cup of toasted pecans. Next, I have a 1/4 cup of regular all-purpose flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, 4 eggs, and about 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. Now I'm just going to hand mix this first before we move on to our mixer. I want to get it incorporated first. Now back to our mixer. All right, that's looking good. Let's get this into a buttered 9-inch cake pan. Just have some unsalted butter here. We're going to give this a good coating. Let's get our batter in here. I'm just going to use the back of a spoon to push this all around here. It is very tacky. We just want to get an even layer. All right, that is good. This is going in the oven for somewhere between 40 to 50 minutes. Probably start checking at about 40, 45 minutes. Insert a toothpick into the center, see if it comes out clean. That's the way we're going to tell this is done. All right, here is our pecan cornbread cake. It took 45 minutes on the dot before a toothpick came out clean. I tested it at 40, still had a little bit of batter on it. 45 minutes, it came out clean. I'm going to let this cool now for about 20 minutes. Then I'm going to take it out of here. We're going to plate it up, get a slice. We're also going to top it with some honey and some orange zest. So I have our pecan cornbread cake out here on a plate. Turned out really good. I just love these sort of crevices you see everywhere. And I'm going to go ahead and drizzle some honey on here. I'm using a palmetto honey, but it's really any kind you want. Just going to like dollop it around here, get different spots. If you like your honey thinner, you can put it in a little bowl over some warm water. That'll help thin it out. Now for some orange zest. I'm just using my microplane to get some on here. Finally, some pecans that I toasted up separately from the others, just to give us a little bit of pecan flair on the top here. We're not going for anything specific in terms of decoration here. I'm just gonna put them around the edge. And there we go, pecan cornbread cake. I'm gonna go ahead, cut a slice of this, and we're gonna have a taste. So here's a cut piece from our pecan cornbread cake. If you wanted to, you could add anything to this now. Whipped cream on top, more honey, some sort of syrup, but I like this simple presentation of this, so let's dive in. Now I'm gonna use a spoon because I don't wanna lose anything with a fork. Hope you can see how airy that is. Still moist, not doughy, it's not underdone or anything, it's just really moist. So let's see. It has some of the consistency of cornbread, but that pecan flavor, those toasted pecans, they come through in this. The honey and the orange zest on top, to me, is really all this needs, just that extra little punch of flavor, that citrusy flavor. I think that tops us off perfectly.